Circus Uniting?
I produced like many events over the years, and they were circles in nature. The idea that we're all part of something came from Native American practices. So Circles Uniting for me was just the natural next step to be able to take the same principles that we had come to understand through our local events and what have you throughout Southern California, and bring those principles to the world in a way that applies to our modern lives. So, and I mean, that's the beauty of being alive at this time, is that we have access to all the wisdom from all the different cultures, and when we really get how great it is that we're here together, we can have access to the benefits of all those different practices, which we don't have when we see, you know, ourselves in separation and we see people as other. So that the nature of Circles Uniting is to actually presence for people that, you know, first of all, we are connected. There's no this place called connection to get to from this other place of separation that is going to take time and be way off in the future and lots of effort. It's a perceptual shift to getting that we're already connected right here, right now, and what that makes available and what's right about it. I mean, what if there was absolutely something perfect and right about there being, you know, 7 billion people on the planet here together? And I kind of figure that since it is, there is. You know, so instead of like, oh, you know, it was one thing when we had vast spaces between us, and one tribe lived over here and another tribe lived over there, and every so often we would bump up next to each other. I could understand how in that particular experience it would be like, oh, shock, fear, horrible, who are you? But we're obviously all here together now. I mean, and maybe that's the perfection of it. It's like you can't get around it. There's no, you know, over there that I can go and retreat to and be completely removed from the rest of humankind. So based on that, you know, if we really look for the benefits of it, and that's what Circles Uniting is designed to have, that be the main conversation on the planet, where we're looking for the rightness of our being together. And so then what does that require? Well, it requires that we get to know one another. We get to get turned on to how great everybody is, you know, and maybe it's also valuable to understand some of the influences that are already there that we haven't actually even seen as that. You know, it's like John Lennon went to the East and had the experience of the gurus and what have you, but so did Emerson before him, you know, and we've had a lot of this kind of influence has been integrated into our culture in ways that we don't really realize, you know. So the more that we can understand that, when I was growing up in the 50s, a Chinese restaurant meant having chow mein, you know, an Italian restaurant meant having spaghetti or something. And now we have like this vast array of all these different cultures, the foods, the materials, the silks, the spices, the music, you know, and it's like if we can really get that we're much more of this larger world than we maybe even identify with. And I was very fortunate. I had touchstones in my life where, first of all, I grew up in suburban New York, so I was very much grew up around the media and a sense of a larger world. I went to the World's Fair when I was 12. I went to Spain with my Spanish class when I was 17. I did a semester abroad when I was in college, so I have only ever identified myself as a global citizen. And I think that's really the way to go in today's world. Now, that doesn't in any way lessen being an American, or being a woman, or being tall, or having silver hair, or coming from New York, or, you know, any of the things that I am also. But right now, I think we need to get into this larger conversation of who we are as one family of the earth. And that's what Circles Uniting is designed to do. So the big e-ticket, if you will, that I think will put it into the popular culture and draw a lot of attention to it is the next generation of the social activist concert. Only instead of one big concert on a single day that's basically star-driven and kind of yangy in energy, like masculine, like we're going to push it through and pull it along and we're going to win you over to this cause that we've already sort of determined is the way to go for you. I've sort of brought some of the feminine principles into balance with it. I've looked at what worked in a particular time frame, was perfect for that time frame, and now what would work, best, for everyone at this time. So one concert pouring into the next, going from region to region, continent to continent, being turned on to the music and the ways of the people, actually hanging with them and getting to know one another, and at the same time encouraging people to bring forth what they have to create in whatever way that takes its expression. And how? By coming together at this next level and understanding that there's a skill level to it that we actually have to come to understand, and we're going to learn that when we can step into a space with people that we immediately might perceive as being different than ourselves, and be open to who they are, to meeting them in their world, to not predetermining and judging about who they are and their ways in any way being lesser any more than we would want to be judged and pigeonholed. So popularizing the principles and then being there to support people in taking the steps, providing the tools, the understanding, and the consistency that allows them to not only see it for themselves, to bring it forth, to tap into it, but to bring it alive through co-creating. And that's what I'm all about. So we can be artists of life. We, as human beings, have this amazing gift of creativity with skill and awareness, art. We can create the lives and world we really want. And in this time, this Aquarian age, the energy of this time is about who we are with one another and coming together at this next level, upping our skill level at co-creation.